Greetings out there, folks in YouTube and Twitch land, and welcome to our 100th episode of the Pilot Review Show. I am CaptainBladej52, and I am joined by some of my merry band of misfit cohorts this evening. We have with us everyone's favorite teacher of the Kirby variety.
I can see everything from up here. Hi.
And we also have everyone's favorite RP hologram, Artie.
Hi.
And
yeah, I'm not up there.
Hiding.
Yep. Our resident Neela has had to work some very long shifts this week, so may or may not be able to join us for this episode, but hopefully should be back with us next week if he is not. But, anyways, for our 100th episode, we've got some special prizes and stuff, and giveaways we're going to be doing for this, and everything, but, while we're doing this episode... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we're going to do the giveaway after the normal portions of our show. Correct?
Actually hand out the prizes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But, in the meantime...
So let's get started.
If you can figure out where we're at and everything, be figuring out how to get here, come open a trade window with TeacherKirby, and you will get a fabulous prize.
Yes. And our first prize will be... What will our first prize be? Our first prize will be a stack of 5 Mirror Incursion Research Assignments, unspecified. These are the duty officer assignments that give a ton of XP, a good amount of dilithium, and only take 4 hours to complete.
In addition to this,
so very good.
We also have a Lucari science ship. This is one that a lot of people were after, and I've also included a set of 6 DMG4 phasers at Ultra Rare. You're also going to be getting an Aegis or an Aegis set, if you prefer the proper pronunciation. And in addition to this, we also have our grand prize, which will be a Geordie Boff code that we picked up from the convention. So we will be giving this stuff out, be planning on how to get to us in the meantime, but let's dive right into everything so we can hand out those prizes. First up, we have the Mirror Universe Invasion on PC. From November the 9th until November the 30th, Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll be having the Mirror Invasion event again. This has been going on for a couple of days now. I actually still need to do my Mirror Invasion now that I think about it. But this year we are getting a set of dual pistols. These are phasers. It's pretty much the same Mirror event you've seen before. This time the reward is account bound. As they had said, all of your other characters can still turn in everything and complete the reward. So you can get your 50,000 dilithium, your 500 fleet marks, 250 marks of your choice, and the ground weapon. So, very good. Get out there, get that mirror event done. And in case anybody has not had a chance to check them out yet, let's see if it will... Okay, it's actually not going to let me show them, but... because I guess they come in the box, but the phaser pistols, somebody else had actually gotten it early. I guess he had saved up some transporters from previous events, and they are DMG3 based, starting out, just in case anybody is curious. But,
awesome.
Yeah, comments from our panel.
Well, I do want to say, if you are one of those people that like to AFK the first part, which there are a lot of people that like to do that, be considerate and join a team that is agreeing we're all going to do that. There are plenty of places that will sign up for that. If you're one of the DPS crowd, DPS 10K or DPS Bronze, people are making groups in there. If you're not in the DPS crowd, there are some public channels like Speed Event. That's all one word. Speed Event is doing that, as well as NOP Public Service. People are joining groups in there that all agree we're going to not fight anything, during the first round. So if you're going to do that, please be polite to your other players and join a group that all agrees that that's what they want to do.
Indeed, very good advice. But, yeah, any comments from you, Sir Artie?
I haven't actually taken a look of the phasers yet, but I really want to because I have a mirror already in the works for costuming. I want to see if it works well with it. That's about it.
But yeah, definitely get those mirror events done. I do believe you can still, if you don't like the phasers, I believe you can still use your transponders on previous events if you still have any of those projects. But
yes, I do.
I do too.
Yeah, so do I.
I do too.
A couple of the... yeah.
But anyways, that's pretty much what we've got for that article. We will have this in the notes, so you can check this out if you want to reference the times or anything. But moving right along, we have the Infinity Box for console players.
Yes, so console players right now are in their Infinity Box loop from... It will be available again for a time starting after maintenance on November 7th and ending on November 14th. So you are currently in your Phoenix Box, or Infinity Box, sorry. Good Lord, I'm misspeaking tonight. Infinity Lockbox loop. So during this time, you are getting Infinity Lockboxes. They're available from the dilithium store as well for a small amount of dilithium. And all of the prizes from the other lockboxes, the previous ones, will be in the Infinity Lockbox. And the Privateer Lockbox prizes have been added as potential rewards, and it has a list of all of the things that includes. I'm not going to read them out, you can read it yourself. And yeah, so Infinity Lockboxes, great things. At this point in our game, those are the only lockboxes I open anymore. So yeah, great things to open. They do have I believe a higher lobby reward, if I remember rightly, than other lockboxes. And there's just such an amount of prizes you can choose from. It makes sense to open them. So there you go. Comments, questions?
Yeah. Not much here.
Yeah. I'm just happy that they're getting. That's basically it.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Moving right along, right along, right along.
Potentially having a little bit of an issue.
Oh, what's wrong?
Going to keep an eye on it, but it's just acting a little weird on me, but and let's see here. Close down some non-essential stuff. Just a moment. And let's see, what else can I do? I'll just have to manage. But anyway, sorry about that, folks. I've been a little bit of stuttering on my end for a moment. Hopefully you guys don't see that, but anyways, moving right along, we have the PC patch notes for the 9th.
Yes, we have a few patch notes here. First off, we have Resolved an issue in the skill UI that would occasionally cause a crash. Ouch, that's a bad one. Resolved an issue where expedient care and expedient repairs were not functioning as expected. That's actually a pretty good thing now. Yay! Resolved an issue that caused the Colony Upgrade Transwarp 2 project to not accept the correct type of duty officers. That's game breaking. And all special requisition choice packs tier 6 promotional ship choice packs, mouthful, items will now be bind on pickup. Ship packs obtained by opening these packages may still be freely traded. That's actually pretty cool. And for known issues, we have editing missions and Foundry is still temporarily unavailable, and for December it's missing information and displays the wrong year.
Yes, it displays 1999.
If I can
So
turn back time.
No, we're gonna party like it's 1999.
Oh. that one.
You totally missed that one. Anyway. Now,
yeah.
moving back into the show.
And I figured out what I need to kill as far as what's giving me a
Okay.
hissy fit on the computer side of things.
Yay! Darkblade's gonna kill some. I mean. Okay.
Okay, so that should have taken care of some of the issue anyway. The rest I'll just kind of have to manage as it goes. But, yeah. But anyways, continuing on, where were we at? We were at the next thing. Draenor Colony.
Yep.
But, anyways, for our console players out there, we have the Draenor Colony Fleet Holding. As of Season 14 for you guys, you'll be getting this. This is a fairly interesting holding, I will say. This is the one that you may have heard us talk about some of the issues with, which ones was it? The provisions and everything, how it appeared that there was a UI issue according to Ambassador Kale's post. Everything, which was fixed, by the way, so that should come to you guys in the fixed form. But you're getting a pretty decent bunch of stuff. You're getting new fleet equipment. This is going to be a new Tier 5 fleet holding, which is the equivalent of a star base. As some examples, I'm not going to read all of these, but I'm going to point out some significant ones. You're going to get some isolated proto-matter cores. You're going to get some, for the warp core, plus 4 max shield power, engine power, and aux power, plus 66 power transfer rate, 66% that is. Then for the sustained proto-matter cores, for the singularity core, you're going to get plus 5 to 12.5 current shield, engine, and aux power based on singularity, minus 10% weapon power cost, plus 10% resistance versus subsystem power drain. You're going to be getting some deflectors, which also are pretty good. They increase crit chance and severity based on current hull percent, so you get a flat bonus based off of that. Then you get some elite secondary deflectors, which are pretty nice. And I'm kind of skimming some of these because there's a lot of stuff that you're actually getting. Then you've got some ground weapons, which includes a few kits. And let's see, where was... okay, that's actually there. Where was... here they are. So I scrolled down a little bit too quick. But you are going to be getting, at Tier 5, you're going to be getting some starship weapons. These are basically different versions of fleet weapons. They have on a chance... They have a chance on hit to restore an amount of hull and shields that scales with crit severity. So, if you're shooting at the enemy with these weapons, you'll have a chance to heal yourself. This is going to be coming at Tier 5, and from what I was able to play with them on Tribble, they seem to be pretty good and everything. But, like I say, I've only had a chance to test them on Tribble, so some of you guys may find better uses for them than I will even. But, yeah, thoughts from our panel.
I wonder if they're going to get potted plants before walls. No?
Eventually they'll get walls.
Eventually, but I'm pretty sure they'll get potted plants first.
Yeah. Well, yes. I will leave it to the console players to find out. Although us PC players already know.
I still don't have any walls, but I have potted plants.
Yep.
Well, you ruined it for them. No.
What species different?
But anyways, I would encourage you guys to check this blog out and everything. It gives a full list of everything that you're getting, whatnot. And if you guys want to, come onto the PC, check it out on Tribble so you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to be in for and everything. This is going to require a bit more work than your average holding and everything, since you can't actually replicate the provisions, which does kind of suck somewhat. But I can kind of see why they didn't let that happen this time around. But anyway, moving along, we have the Miracle Worker specialization for console.
Miracle Worker specialization console. Or specialization, sorry, for console.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So, the Miracle Worker specialization system is coming on console. So, the basic overview is it's a new specialization. Miracle Workers lean heavily on healing and weapon enhancing abilities. So, you're going to get a lot of healing and weapon enhancing abilities. Okay, as an engineering heavy specialization, captains interested in exploring these types of abilities are likely to reap a greater benefit from investing in this specialization. This is a primary specialization, so it does have 4 tiers, but captains may instead choose to slot it as a secondary. If you slot it as a secondary, only the first 2 tiers will be available for use. Okay, and it does, of course, have a scaling passive. As long as you have the Miracle Worker specialization active, you will gain between 5 and 50% of maximum hit points and hull regenerated per minute. And this, of course, scales depending on how many points you have put in the Miracle Worker specialization. And it will unlock a new Starship trait. After 15 abilities are purchased, you will unlock Going the Extra Mile. Improves the effectiveness of your captain and bridge officer heals. If you heal someone while they are above 90% maximum hull, they additionally gain a boost to maximum hull capacity for a short duration. After 30 abilities are purchased, you get the improved version, which gives a stronger boost to healing and to the temporary hull capacity boost. Okay, and there is, of course, a load of abilities, which I am not going to read. You can read yourself. There may be a teacher's corner coming up on these later. And then, of course, there is another ability, Give Her All She's Got in Space. And this allows your teammates increase maximum hull capacity, incoming hull healing, turn rate, and resistance rating versus subsystem offline effects. And then making sure I got everything. Yep. Alright, any questions, comments?
I'm
I
happy
think
that
you've
they're getting
been-
this.
Yeah, I think you've been working with Miracle Worker more than I have, Darkblade.
I can definitely say that for my space tanks out there, especially you guys, are going to love this one. If you play your cards right, you're going to get some pretty nice damage boosts out of it. You're also going to get some pretty nice healing benefits out of it as well. Especially when you guys eventually get the Miracle Worker ships themselves. Just, yeesh. Things are a beast.
Yeah. Yes, that I've been waiting to buy the ships themselves until the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. You hear that, Cryptic? I'm willing to spend money. Anyway.
Somebody make sure that it's not a little chilly down there in hell, because I'm not sure I heard her say what I think she did.
Okay, let me rephrase it. I'm willing to spend my Zen. So, yeah.
Right.
Anyway. But it's got to be a good sale. Okay. Moving right along.
But the next thing we have is the featured episode for console players.
Ah, yes, the new episode Melting Pot. Here we get to join Captain Geordie LaForge and Captain Kamarake on the new Lucari Kintari colony. Yeah, we get to see how they're dealing with that colony, which will end up being the new fleet holding. You'll see the similarities, definitely. And you'll get some cool items out of it. It doesn't say it here, but you'll be able to have fun with this. Since it's a new featured episode, captains level 10 and up, Romulan captains will have to choose a faction, of course. We'll be able to join and play this episode. So there you go. I'm not going to really spoil too much. It's just real fun. It's real nice. It's a good turning point in stories at this point.
Can definitely agree with that.
Yes. It is. I really do like this episode. And I'm not going to spoil it by saying why. Okay.
But
That's all our articles. Next.
anyways, moving along,
Ta-da!
we actually have our budget build for this evening. And this actually comes at a request from a good friend of ours. And what we have is actually a budget build series for the Andorian escorts. Now, these are ships that a lot of people actually look over today. They don't really think a lot of because they don't have a tier 6 option. So they just kind of get passed over. And to me that's a shame because I remember seeing a lot of people flying them back in the day. And they did quite a bit of damage. And were fun ships from what I saw of everybody saying. But we did, because this was done at a request, we did modify our bare bones rules just a little bit. And we assumed that enough dilithium was had to start out with some of the Andorian weapons. We also assumed that since you pretty much have to purchase the ships from the sea store, that you have the 3 consoles to make the set bonus. So for our forward weapons, we have the Quantum Phase dual heavy cannons. We also have 3 of the ultra rare Fleet Andorian dual heavy cannons. These are the DMG times 3 axe, because that's what they come as. And then we also have the Andorian phaser wing cannons that come with the ship. Those are, I believe, DMG 3 starting out. Then in the back, we also have 2 of the Andorian phaser turrets. If you don't have the ability to pick up any of the dual heavy cannons from the from the fleet for the Andorian weapons, we did include in the notes a place that you can go to pick up some cannons to use with the ship all the same. I believe it was the Past Imperfect mission, if I remember correctly, is what we said?
Yes. The Past Imperfect mission will have dual cannons that you can place on the front of your ship if you cannot afford the Andorian cannons.
Yes. And there's a couple of missions that actually give out turrets as well. So
Yes.
you can get
Turrets are more prevalent than
Yeah.
than the dual cannons. So
There's quite a few missions, so I don't remember if I actually listed one in the notes or not, but anyway. As far as our shields or engines, deflector, warp core, this is a set or a couple of items that we actually use quite a bit here on the show because they are very good on the budget end. Our requester, or requestee, however you want to say it, wanted the ship to be more middle of the road in terms of DPS and tanking. Didn't want it to be completely glass cannon, but didn't want to go full-blown tank with it either. So here we have our Soul Defense space set. This comes from the Midnight Mission, and this is what's going to lend a lot of survivability to the ship. If you're familiar with the Soul Defense set from previous episodes or everything, you're probably already going to know what's the reasons why we have this, but for our 2-set bonus for our Soul Defense set, you get the free equivalent of a Neutronium armor in terms of resistances, which is very, very good to have. So just by having 2 of the pieces on here, you get enough resistance that you've essentially got a free armor console without having to eat a console space. Then the 3 set is where this set actually shines. That's where you get the large AoE heal for yourself and for allies that are close enough, up to a certain maximum of your hull. Now that can actually bring you from near death back to full, depending on the ship. Then because the Soul Defense set does not come with a warp core, we have to source one, and the one that we typically use on a lot of our budget builds is the temporally phased overcharged core. And this is the warp core from the Butterfly mission, and in my personal opinion, probably the best budget tanking warp core and everything. If you were here for the Delta recruitment event several years ago, you're familiar with a little device known as the Temporal Negotiator. The Temporal Negotiator would cut the bridge officer cooldowns in half for the duration of the device. This essentially gives you the same thing in the form of a warp core capacitor. So you get cooldown reduction off of this, which can translate into perhaps more damage, or perhaps even a bit more survival. It depends on pretty much how you use it. For devices, we usually think of that as personal preference, but a device that we use a lot of the times is the Subspace Field Modulator, which comes from the Skirmish mission. Now that particular device, whenever you use it, gives a nice little defensive ability, a nice little chunk of damage resistance while it's active. However, it does also debuff you for a minus 400 proton damage resistance. So it can be a bit of a double-edged sword depending on where you use it. Now there's not too awful many enemies that use proton damage, but it is worthy of a note and worthy of a mention. For our engineering consoles and everything, we'll touch base on the 3 that are not the set pieces. First, we have our 0-point conduit. This picks up a little bit of critical chance, as well as some other nice little benefits. Then we have our assimilated module from our Omega reputation. This gives us a bit of crit chance and crit severity, is the main reasons we have this. Then we also have our Trillium deplating from the Ragnarok mission. This is a very nice console that is essentially a neutronium console and a field generator slammed into one thing. So you get a good chunk of resistance and a good chunk of extra shield capacity from it. And for our last engineering console, we have one of the ones that comes with the Andorian ships, which is the wing platforms, or wing cannon platforms. Then we have the phaser dispersal array, and finally the tachyon induction relay. So I pulled these up on the wiki for you guys to see what they do and everything, but so you can kind of see a little bit better what they do. The wing cannons deploys a several wing cannon platforms for a brief time. Very, very good. And you can see it's wing platforms will only fire while the ship is firing its own wing cannons, so it is kind of dependent upon that. Then your phasal dispersal allows you to charge up the ship's phaser wing cannons and fire a powerful blast that would deal damage to targeted foe, and all enemies near it. So you can kind of see some of the tooltips here on the side. Then we also have the Tachyon Burst. Console allows the player's wing cannons to fire a powerful Tachyon Burst that damages all target foe shield facings. Then you can see some of the set bonuses, which is the 10% accuracy, which in today's game, with the accuracy penalties on fall and the cannon firing modes, that's actually a pretty good thing to have. Then you've got your wing cannon synergy. When you activate cannon rapid fire, scatter volley, or wing cannon overload, or the Tachyon Burst, your wing cannon platforms will also activate this ability. Wing cannon platform versions of Overload and Tachyon Burst are weaker than yours. So, it is following kind of a theme build, but utilizes all of the consoles. Then, for our tactical consoles, we have 4 of the phaser relays from, I believe, the Of Signs Importance mission is where you get these. And then finally, our Quantum Phase console, which was a pretty good one to have on there as well. For the skills, this is kind of standard for what we usually recommend on the budget end. We have 2 points into Improved Hull and Shield Cap, 1 point into Shield and Hull Restoration as well. We've maxed out our Advanced Energy Weapon Training. We've also picked up 2 points into Improved DPS Flow, 1 point in Impulse Expertise. We also have some points into Control Expertise and Drain Expertise. We also have points into Advanced Targeting Expertise to offset that fall penalty and our cannon modes even more. We have the Advanced Defensive Maneuvering to make the ship harder to hit. We also have the Hull Plating, all 3 points in that, to make the ship harder to kill. Lends a bit more resistances and everything. Advanced Shield Hardness, 3 points into that to improve our damage reduction to shields. We also have Weapon Amplification and Specialization to pick up some free crit chance and severity from the skill tree. Then we have our Defensive Subsystem Tuning and Offensive Subsystem Tuning. 2 points into EPG. Then we also have the Long Range Target Sensors maxed out. Then also we have the 3 points in either Advanced Shield Penetration or the Advanced Hull Penetration, whichever one you prefer. You can make arguments for either one. There is no set in stone right or wrong answer to this. It is purely which one you prefer. Then, for the final 2 points, we have a point in Warp Core Potential and Warp Core Efficiency for a bit of extra power. Now, thinking behind the skills in this instance is maybe the Quantum Phase set might come into play if a bit more damage is desired. Or perhaps...
That's kind of what struck me when I was looking at the gear.
Yeah.
I was looking and I was like, something's missing.
Yep.
Something's missing, and you know.
Yeah. That's what I was
tonight.
doing was the thinking.
My brain
is
obviously addled tonight, and I didn't figure it out until you got down to the quantum phase converter, and it was like, hey, the torp.
Yep. But that is the thing is, as far as the skills and everything go, the thinking is perhaps if the user feels like the ship is doing well enough that the not the quantum phase, but the soul defense set isn't needed, then perhaps a swap could be made to the quantum phase set to take advantage of that particular power. Maybe the phasers could be focused more towards a phaser drain build or something along those lines. But for specializations, we have Intel Primary and Strategist Secondary. This will give a nice balance of offensive and defensive power. And it appears we have a first place for our prizes, which we will award shortly. But, let's see, where was I? Traits, that's where I am at. For traits and everything...
Where is he? Ah!
Has he finally found us? Yes, he has.
Ah, dang it.
Holy mother of
But I
Robo-Kirby's.
fell off.
So, you've probably figured out where we're at, and indeed, congratulations, Esmasa. We will get that stuff to you once Kirby sorts her life out, which I'm sure
Yeah.
people are probably used to this by now. But yeah. So anyway, getting back to this, we have, for our personal space
Dang it.
traits, we have the accurate trait that'll offset the scatter volley and cannon penalties even more. We have cannon training. Then we have fleet coordinator for free damage based on the size of the party. Nanite repair matrix for a free hull heal when dropping below a certain point. Elusive for free defensive value, making the ship harder to hit. In this case, we have the deft cannoneer and everything for anybody out there that may wish to utilize an additional cannon trait. This assumes that you've leveled at least one R&D school. If you haven't leveled this, then you could consider something such as a Good Day to Die, perhaps, since this was originally built for a tactical officer, or any other specific trait. Then, speaking of tactical officers, we have the Last-Ditch Effort, which is the career-specific trait for tacticals. If you are not a tactical captain, but you wish to use the build, simply swap in your own career-specific trait, and you should be good to go. We also have Point-Blank Shot, which increases our energy weapon damage the closer we are to the target, up to a certain point. Then we also have Operative for a little bit of free crit chance and severity. Then, for our Starship traits, we have the Best Defense, which buffs our attack patterns, giving them a whole healing buff along with the normal effects. We have Unconventional Tactics, which is a damage increase on our Brace for Impact for a short time. We also have Improved Predictive Algorithms from our Intel tree. This is going to offset that accuracy penalty even more, and that's going to be something that is very much needed with a cannon build. Then for our space reputation traits, we have the Advanced Targeting Systems for free severity. We have the Auxiliary Power Offense from Nukara, which is a boost to our damage itself based on Aux power. We have Precision for free critical hit chance. Then finally, to cool down some of our powers just a little bit quicker, we do have the Chronocapacitor Array. Then for our active reputation, we have the Anti-Time Entanglement Singularity, which is a nice little kick in the pants even in today's game. Then Biomolecular Shield Generator, which is the little green bubble you may see people using in space quite a bit. And everything. This buffs your shield healing and your allies for a short time, as well as gives some shield healing. Then we have Deploy Sensor Interference Platform, which is basically an oh crap I'm going to die button. You can drop a little platform that will taunt off of you and try to keep the aggro from you until it's destroyed or until time runs out, whatever happens first. Then finally, we have our Quantum Singularity Manipulation. This gives a plus 100 boost to all science stats for the time it's active and gives a temporary cloak effect. And the best use of this power is to combo it up with any other science boost that you may have, then drop something like your Anti-Time Entanglement Singularity on top of that, and you're going to get a lot more mileage out of those abilities. Then, finally, comes to our bridge officers. Now, for this particular ship, you do kind of get a little bit pigeonholed, in my opinion, with the setup, but all the same, I'll read off the stuff. And actually, I see I did use an ability that I forgot to write down. Whatnot, mainly because it was on the cheap. But for the Lieutenant Universal, we made that into a science seat, and we have our Science Team 1 to regen a little bit of shields, and our Hazard Emitters 2 in this case. That'll give us a nice little heal over time effect, as well as purging the plasma fires from Borg torpedoes. For our Commander Tactical seat, we have a Tactical Team 1, a Beta 1, then we have a Cannon Rapid Fire 2, and then a Scatter Volley 3 in this case. Then for our Commander, or Lieutenant Commander Tactical, we did use Akima Site 1, mainly because I was able to score that for about 2 million. So we did max out our EC budget for this, since it was a modified version of a bare bones. Then we have a Rapid Fire 1, or not a Rapid Fire, but a Scatter Volley 1 and a Rapid Fire 2. I can't brain today, apparently. Happens more than I'm willing to admit and everything, and probably all of the time Kirby's wanting to admit.
Yeah.
But then...
Although...
Oh, go ahead.
Although I was going to say another alternative here would be to definitely keep the Scatter Volley 3, but put Scatter Volley 2 instead of the Rapid Fire 2. One of the Rapid Fire 2s instead, yeah, swap them around.
Yep.
And then in place of the Scatter Volley 1, put a Beta 1 so that you have the Beta always up and you still have the Rapid Fire option for big bosses.
And basically double up on your attack pattern.
Yeah.
That is an option.
Yes.
Yep. So.
Which is an option.
Yep. But don't be afraid to experiment with your tactical powers and everything. That is one reason why we do, on the budget builds, have the banter back and forth. Is so people can see, hey, you know, you don't have to do it strictly the way we put it into the builder. But the final 2 powers, or 3 powers we have, for Lieutenant Engineering, we have a Engineering Team 1. This gives us a bit of hull healing back. And then we have our Reverse Shield Polarity 1, which will recharge the shields in a pinch. Then we also have our Emergency Power to Weapons 1, in this case, for some extra weapon power as well as an increase to damage. But as far as our notes go, I'll have to amend the notes after this, but I made sure to include where to get all of the items and everything. As far as the total cost for dilithium, you're looking at about 72,500, so that's about 9 days of runtime, assuming you're only refining dilithium on a single character. But overall, the ship should do fairly well as a cannon ship. Should be able to have some nice hit and run power, some nice knockdown to her. But yeah, any thoughts on the budget build there, guys?
I said my thought already, but yeah, other than that, it does look good. I would probably put the Torp in and change out the tactical team for Torp Spread 1.
Could do that, I guess.
But yeah, as well. And by the Torp, I mean the Quantum Phase Torp, and then that would give me the special ability, that extra attack. So yeah. And a way to drain their shields.
Yep. But anyways, that's the budget build we have for this evening. Next week we're going to continue with the series a little bit, and we're going to be doing our mid-range version of this. This is just our starting out ship and everything. But if you have any requests for budget builds, feel free to let us know. We do take requests, as you guys saw. Let us know what kind of ship you're looking for, what you're hoping to do with the ship, and let us know your budget level, and we'll see if we can't hook you up. But as far as bugs go, we are working on some stuff, Teacher and myself, and everything.
Yes.
Can't really go into details as to what we're working on at the moment, but rest assured, we are still testing some things. But
basically, the other day, he logged in and I came over and went, Chris, somebody broke it. And then they bragged about it, so we gotta check it out.
Yep.
I hadn't even been logged on 5 minutes and she's already given me paperwork.
That's usual, you know. This is your lot in life.
Yeah, for Kirby it is. She enjoys it.
We just remind him he signed up to do this.
Very true.
He volunteered.
Did not realize what I was in for at the time. But in all seriousness, like I say, if you do see bugs, feel free to let us know. Let me know if you can, maybe you can catch me on YouTube, catch me in game, or pass it along to one of these screwballs, they'll be sure to get it to me, and we'll test it, and we will pass it along to the developers. But if you've got anything and you're not able to get a hold of us, or you want to go to them more directly, then go on to the forums. Each platform has its own specific little forum. We've got a PC forum, we've got one for console players, we've got one for PlayStation players. So go on there, let them know what you're seeing, say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm doing to cause it, or at least when I'm seeing it, and try to be as specific as you can. If you've got some video and screenshots, that's even better. But they don't like stuff to be broken and bugged any more than you or I do, so please do turn in those bug reports. But anyways, moving along, for our next segment of the evening, we have the Teacher's Corner. What have you got for us this week?
Yes. So this week was actually something that somebody asked me about, and so I figured we'd make a nice, quick little Teacher's Corner. It's one of those little questions that we don't, that we don't think about, but it is something that a newcomer to the game might not know. So it's sweet and simple, and it's how to change the name of your starship.
Alrighty.
So it didn't take long to explain, and it's one of those things that, us old-timers, we're like, oh, that's easy, but to the newcomers, they're sitting there going, how the bleep do I do this? Do I do it this way? It takes a little while to figure out. So, there you go. So now there's a video out, so you can check it out. Comments, questions?
Yeah, seems pretty
It's
straightforward.
simple. Yeah, it's simple, and it's very helpful. Yeah.
Yes. I try to make them that way.
I remember, actually, back when I started the game several years ago, it took me, I would say, a good week to actually find that. And then when I found it, I'm just like, seriously? It's like, that's all I had to do?
And that's kind of the way it was with me, too. It took me
It's like,
a
face,
week or two
meet desk.
to realize I could do it. Yeah.
But,
Yep.
and I see somebody went flying by. But
That was, yeah.
But anyways, moving on to our final segment of the evening before we do the prize giveaways, we have the RP Corner with Artie. What have you got for us this week, dude?
Alright, well, I got something somewhat simple. Basically, this time I decided to go with, what is an RP ship? I know it gets better from here. Alright, so, in roleplay, you sometimes are in space, obviously, but you sometimes have to deal with different events. Maybe you're using a Foundry mission, maybe you're actually out on a social map and actually doing stuff. I got two different types that I've narrowed down at least. There are some variations of these two. Type 1 I've called the Immersive ship. This is where all the players and whatever characters they use, it's everything theater of the mind. They use the chat-based emotes, they use the simple in-game maps to roleplay, and they use the costumes, whatever. This is the simple route. They just, they don't have to make their characters look exactly perfect. They can if they like to. They don't have to look, they don't have to have the right weapons, whatever, because it's difficult to get certain weapons that you gotta have for certain events. It's all types of things are weird. Whoop.
And I dropped something, and I see several people going splat.
Yeah. I've been watching them for quite a while, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yep.
There were a couple.
Okay, but for, this Type 1, the Immersive ship, you don't have to really worry too much. When it gets to space combat, most people that are all a part of the same ship crew sometimes want to use the same ship. Well, some people have their own little builds they don't want to really change. Well, you don't have to. You just say, oh yeah, it's totally phasers, and get away with it. That's the easy way around. Now, this is where it gets a little bit different for the Type 2. Type 2, I've just easily called the in-game ship. Everything you have in-game, everything that you have at your disposal, is what your character can use in-game. Yes, some people may go, oh, but I'm an Fleet Admiral then. No. There's some RP restrictions sometimes. It depends on the group. I have no problem with it sometimes, but what I mean by that is that this is where you're completely on the other side of the spectrum. You're not lax at all. If you're going to say your ship is firing phasers, it's got to fire phasers. Even if it's terrible phasers, it's got to fire phasers. If you want to use that specific type of Polaron rifle, you got to find that Polaron rifle to use in game. If you want to wear a specific uniform, you got to go find that specific uniform. Actually, wear the specific uniform. You know, it's that sort of extreme. It's everything up to the color of hull on someone's ship, all the way down to the type of color of boots. Although it's not that extreme, but I'm just putting that out there. But that's basically it. That's the two different things I've come to realize, that there's, you know, one ship that's just like, yeah, we're okay. You don't have to use everything that you need to. It's great if you do, but not really to the point of, you know, not having to worry about everything else. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
But yeah, that's about it.
Well, it seems pretty straightforward, I guess. But
Alright, we have our second winner, and
Yes.
that was Cody.
Yes. Our first place is Samasa, and our second place is Cody. Congratulations, you two. I've been watching you guys for the past few minutes. You guys are great.
Samasa got the stack of DOF assignments, and Cody just got the ship and gear from
Sweet.
Darkblade. So the next person will get our grand prize, the Geordie code. And I know y'all can't see it, but I'm like holding it up. Anyway. And
But-
Poe can confirm. So the next person will get the Geordie LaForge BOF code. There you
Indeed.
go.
Yep.
but,
I wonder who's going to be. There's a lot of people just running around out here.
But for everybody that has joined us over the past 100 episodes, we are very grateful. Without you guys, we would not have a show. We wouldn't. We'd basically be four nerds hanging out on the internet. Not that that's not what we aren't already, but, you know. But has been a pretty fun ride. I'll definitely say that.
Yes, it has.
But, yeah. I guess at this point we're just kind of waiting to see if anybody else is going to try to take a shot at the Geordie code.
And our own personal super troll is out there trying. He just beat himself up with a fish.
Yeah, I saw that.
I assume out of frustration.
Yep.
I see him.
And there is a little trick to getting up here and everything. It is perfectly legit. It's basically a jumping puzzle and everything. I'm not going to tell how that is.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Artie will happily reveal secrets for a lump amount of EC.
I would point out that Artie's not up here on the ledge with us.
Alright, that doesn't mean I don't know how.
Take it with a grain of salt.
shots fired. But yep.
Anyway.
But
yeah. Darkblade called me an evil genius before the show started. Partly because he was having trouble getting up here.
I've not actually had to get up here in quite a while, so I think
Neither have I.
I think the last time I actually had to get up here was when we were horsing around, not this past event in October, but the year before that, when we had the special episode of our show on charity stream that Timber did last year.
Ah, yes.
I think that's the last time I actually got up here. But, yeah.
And
And
so
I
somebody
see...
just
Yep.
fly by. Yep, it was Super Troll.
Yep.
Oh, I was
But,
up here just for a second.
Indeed, like I say, feel free, folks, if you want to try it. We're going to be here for a few minutes and everything. But, if you don't try, you can't win. I can say that.
Exactly.
Although you can enjoy people falling, it's hilarious to watch.
And there goes another one.
And we may give a consolation prize for effort.
Yeah.
May. But not if you're gonna shoot rockets at us, and I know you can hear me, Steve.
Steve!
It's supercalifragilisticextrastevedocious. And yes, I totally just went there.
Like, I know he can hear us. But yeah. And he's the one been shooting rockets at us all night. Like he says, he's our super troll.
I don't know if he's going to get it or not, but...
He might not, but he might get a prize, another prize for effort.
Yep.
But yeah.
But, anyways, I guess I can go ahead and do our little spiel.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
for everybody out there and everything, we do want to give a good shout out to our good friends over at the Temple Armada. Very cool bunch of people. Definitely check out their radio program as well. Pretty cool bunch. Definitely good at providing entertainment and everything. Also check out our good friends over at the Kurtang Pirate Radio. Very cool other bunch of people. Very good radio programs you guys should enjoy. But if you've got any requests for budget builds, like we were saying earlier, feel free to let us know. Let us know what kind of ship you're looking at, what kind of budget you've got, such as...
Hey!
Hello.
We have a grand prize winner.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
And who was that?
This is Charles.
Did he actually get up here, or...
Yeah.
There's that. That is actually his hologram.
Ah.
He
would
trolled
be
you!
why.
See, that's exactly what
He
happened.
trolled me. Yeah, because I couldn't get in that handle. I'm like, wait, what? Took me a
Smooth
second.
move, good sir. Smooth move. Very smooth.
Smooth move, Charles, but it doesn't count.
If you can still get up here, you're welcome to try, good sir.
Yes, if you can actually get up here.
Yep.
Yes.
But, anyway, as I was saying, if you've got a budget build you want to see us do, please let us know. We do take requests, as you saw earlier. Let us know what ship you want us to do it on. Let us know what you want to do with the ship. Maybe you want it to be a tank. Maybe you want it to be a DPS. Maybe you want space wizardry, somewhere in the middle of the spectrum. Let us know that. Let us know what kind of a budget you've got. Maybe it's just a bare bones, which is typically, we assume, only a 2 million EC spending limit. Everything else is free or as cheap as possible. Maybe it's a mid-range, where we assume usually about a 30 million EC limit and enough to lithium to get a single item to epic quality. Or maybe you want something more high-end, where we typically assume there's not really an EC spending limit, and we can spend a little bit more dilithium-wise, though we do try to still keep it on the cheap side as much as possible. But let us know for that. If you've got anything you'd like to see Teacher do a Teacher's Corner on, feel free to let us know. We'll pass it along to her.
Yes.
And if you've got...
I've gotten more than one email where I've taken it through to a Teacher's Corner, or where I have slotted it on the list for consideration, or like, I'll get to that one of these days. Yeah. It's like when nothing else pops up, you know.
And he was close. He was close.
He was very close. He was very close. Oh,
Hello there.
I hear a aha. Artie made it! Yay!
Yes, but I'm not a contestant.
But Artie is not a contestant. So the grand prize is still up for...
Yep.
See, I can prove it.
Be
If you
by
hide long
Super
enough and then
Troll.
just appear, you can get it.
Maybe Super Troll will get it.
Oh, he's close. Close, but no cigar.
Yep.
Random person in the crowd. I bet you can't make this jump.
But also, the other side of things, if you've got anything you'd like Artie to discuss or go over for the RP corner, feel free to let him know as well.
Literally,
Super
anything.
Troll is
Just send me a
doing
message. I'll talk about it.
push-ups. Super Troll is doing push-ups to buff up for his next attempt.
I'm starting to feel like
Come on,
a
guys,
bad rerun
give
of an
us-
Evil Knievel.
I've never seen Star Wars. No, nobody. That was a good. That was a reference.
Nobody.
Well, he might get up here eventually.
He might get it eventually. Yep. He's getting close.
That he is.
Yep.
Alley-oop.
He's getting close. And did Artie jump off?
No, Artie's still there.
Oh no, Artie's still here, okay. Looked for a second like his name was on the ground. I'm just watching for our Super Troll to jump down.
Well, I can say it is a little tricky to get up here if you catch my drift.
Trick E? Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that was such a hint.
That was so subtle.
Smooth.
How many E's are in that?
One on each
Tricky.
end. They're bookends.
They're bookends?
Well, look at that. There's one E on one side, one E on the other.
Here's one for you.
Yes.
Did you know the word I spelled backwards is still I?
Never would have guessed.
Oh.
Yes, E-Y-E.
Yep.
That's what's called a palindrome.
It's also pretty funny to screw with your friends with those.
Yes, it is.
Almost makes you want to spell
Bob.
WoW backwards.
Yep. Mom backwards is still mom. Yep. As my husband pointed out, dad backwards is still dad as well. And spaghetti on the wall is messy.
And there he goes again.
That's what he says.
Yeah, it can be real tricky to get up here if you know what I mean.
I'm gonna say this. Aim for the E. Oh, he shot another rocket at us. Aim for the E. It's up to you to figure out which one.
And to still land the jump.
Yep. There you go. Artie's just so happy he finally made it.
Just starting to point at random people to see if they want to jump up here.
Come on, guys! There's got to be more than just Steve that wants the Jordy. Jordy Boff. All right, who did the
Oh,
party
look!
ball?
He made it.
He made it. Where is he?
He's right
Where
there
is
in front of you.
Oh, he made it. Okay.
Yay! Party.
I will PM him the code. He's so excited. Look at him.
I do my favorite dance.
And you will need to go into the Ark to redeem that, good sir. Do let us know if you have issues with the code.
And it is important to note it is case sensitive. And there you are, sir, with your Geordie code. I think he's just more happy that he.
I know, right? Some sort of satisfaction with that, you know?
I know, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yes, exactly. So there we have it. Our 3 prize giveaway for our 100th episode milestone. Remember, we would not have a show without all of you viewers. So thank you for helping us.
Indeed. But as always, folks, thank you for joining us this week. As Teacher Kirby said, we would not have a show if it wasn't for you people out there and everything. We do enjoy what we do, being able to bring this information to you guys, go over some of the builds for a game that we all enjoy. But anyways, thanks for everybody joining us out there. Congratulations to all the winners that took home prizes and everything. For everybody else out there, feel free to join us. You never know when we might do a spontaneous giveaway or something. We have been known to do that on occasion. But
Very true.
for now, folks, as always, this is the Pilot Review Show, and we're warping on out of here.
Bye.
See ya!